Hi guys, welcome back to another Bitcoin update video. And wow, Bitcoin has moved up quite a bit after yesterday's move to the downside. We did actually highlight a couple of key areas for Bitcoin, and BTC has started to kind of retest some of these. So we're going to go through some of that in detail. So let's roll that intro and then get right down into it. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Bitcoin video update. Here we have Bitcoin paired up with USDT. We're on the 4-hour Binance chart. And so yesterday we were talking about looking at this area of 49,372 to 49,532 as our kind of first point of reference within resistance. It was not resistance. We actually broke straight through it and turned it into support, as you can see here. And then the next area of interest was all of this previous area of resistance where we kind of got getting rejected from. This was 49,917 to 50,368, and from here we can see that we're actually kind of finding a little bit of resistance up there at the moment. Now this obviously is coinciding with our upper trend line. This is the resistance trend line, so I think we have the ability here to kind of expect a little bit of a rejection before we get that next kind of breakthrough situation. Okay, so let's kind of just recap for anyone who didn't catch yesterday or last night's video. What we saw here was a breakout of our upper trend line. Okay, we found upper area of resistance. We found CPI data that brought us back down into and below our upper resistance trend line that we just broke through, down towards our support trend line. Rallied, and now we're back up at resistance. Okay, so a little bit of a mouthful there, lots of kind of things to think about, but for the most part, we've seen the CPI data freak the market out a little bit, and we've seen some recovery. Okay, so overnight here, essentially we've moved up another 3.35% after we dropped down the 4.11%. Okay, so we saw a significant drop and then we've recovered a little bit. Now this move to the upside has extended our stochastic RSIs on the 1 hour time frame. That essentially just means that momentum on the smaller 1 hour time frame is running out, and it means that we're likely to probably pull back a little bit. So my expectation here will be that this dojo candle, this area of resistance, this trend line is acting as resistance and is likely to bring us down towards our lower area just here. This area of, as I said earlier, 49,372 to 49,532 is going to be our next area for just cooling off a little bit, letting the bulls kind of regather themselves, and then looking to target the upper area. And again, our expectations here are going to be aiming for a breakout. Okay, so we're going to be looking for a breakout of our trend line like we saw before, and that's really the opportunity. So let's take a look at some trading opportunities here. So as you can see, what we want to do is potentially go short on the market here, okay, with our really, really tight stop loss just above our trend line and our take profit down at this low point over here. Okay, this is a really short-term quick flip trade, just basically grabbing what you can out of the market very quickly. Okay, there's a high probability of failure within this because it is basically trying to snipe a position out of the market, but it's something to kind of be mindful of. It's something we could potentially do. Okay, now on the larger time frames, if we don't want to be kind of going against the trend but by shorting the market, and we actually want to go with the trend, we don't trade just yet. We wait until the price recalls and basically cools off back down to this low. And we do look for entering into a long position with a stop loss lower than the swing low that we recently saw here, targeting out back up towards that upper trend line and of course that upper area here. And again, as we get into green with this trade idea, what we would do is we basically just have a trailing stop, or we just basically lift our stop loss into profit. So should the trade go wrong at any point, we can start to make sure that we're always taking profit from it. Okay, so be very clear on that. Now, of course, if I am to be trading, I'm going to be trading using BitGet. It is my go-to trading platform when it comes to leverage. If you haven't yet signed up to BitGet, what are you waiting for? Check it out. The link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic platform, and I use it not just for my leverage trades, but I also use it for spot trading as well. It's really self-intuitive, easy to use, and I don't think you'd be disappointed. So why not go ahead and check it out? So as we kind of come back into our charts here, we can see that there's some potential opportunities for trades. Now, I did allude to yesterday one of my big concerns for Bitcoin, and that is a head and shoulder pattern coming in like this. Okay, I'm going to just draw this in so it looks pretty, so you guys can kind of see what that would look like. If we do reject down towards our trend line here, it is going to be a slanted head and shoulder pattern. It is not going to be the prettiest thing in the world, and would actually be looking to go short, a little bit more so, more towards kind of the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA. Now, this is still early stages. There's no guarantees that we're in this pattern, but it's something that I can see within this chart, and therefore I would be disingenuous not to kind of share it with you guys. So we have to kind of be mindful of that. Okay, so if we were to see that, and we were to basically see that break of the neckline, and it's basically like this trend line here, if we were to see a break of it, we're going to short the market. We're going to be targeting out the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA. Those are currently sat at 47,286 for the 50 EMA and 46,805 for the SMA. But of course, as time progresses, those are going to either lift upwards, sideways, or go down. So they will change the targets as we kind of progress through. Ultimately, the head and shoulder pattern will be trying to mimic out the length of the head over to our target on the neckline. So it can change a little bit. For example, if we were to see this, then I would be taking this percentage drop and applying it to wherever our right shoulder finishes. And you can see here, it'll be about a 5.26% drop, something to that effect. Okay, so early stages, but something to be mindful of. Of course, the bulls will be looking to try to rally up above our previous high, coming in at 50,368. Anything above that would invalidate the idea of a head and shoulder pattern and that bearish move down towards the 50 EMA, 50 SMA. So the bulls know what they need to do and the bears know what they need to do. You can let me know where you sit in the comment section below. Are you bearish or are you bullish right now on Bitcoin? And whether or not you think that all of this is just temporary and we are going to the moon, 75 before 42, all that kind of stuff. Now, for me, I think that Bitcoin has the potential for a breakout situation on the 4-hour, but we also need to see how the other timeframes are going to be performing as well. A little bit cautious, but I still looks like the bulls have control of the market. Bitcoin spot ETFs continue to have inflows that, they're basically pushing the price of Bitcoin to the upside. And it's kind of forced as long as people are buying the shares in the Bitcoin ETF. The ETF has no choice but to buy the Bitcoin. And so it just keeps fueling it. But at some point, what is going into those ETFs will come out. And as a result, Bitcoin will eventually get sold off as well. It's not always inflows. There will eventually be outflows. Profit has been made. And it really depends on those investors in those ETFs as to how long they are likely to hold BTC share or BTC ETF shares, and whether or not they're going to be looking to cash out anytime soon. So be mindful. Everything's looking pretty good, but I do say that we have an overlapping structure here, whilst higher highs and higher lows, and that has a tendency not to play out so well. So hopefully the bulls can take control of the situation. If not, then I'm expecting more bearish plays in the coming days. So yeah, guys, that is my Bitcoin update today. Why don't you check out this video here where I go through some technical analysis on some altcoins where I do think there is some potential for some upside moves on those alts as well.